I'm here to assist you in becoming a goal digger. So as we go into 2017, we're going to be set up, ready to go, ready to launch. So a little bit about me. I am the founder and the CEO of the Tiffany consulting firm. Actually started my consulting firm January of this year. Oh, wow. It was a long time in the making, and I'll touch base back on a little bit on that. But, you know, I was able to launch and effectively able to help at least 10 to 15 people, actually, about 15 people now to this date, start their businesses this year. So I'm really excited about that. I'm happy that I'm able to share my gift with others, and I hope that this year brings you the same type of prosperity. So the reason I would like to go over goals and objectives today is because I'm going to go to the nitty-gritty and just talk about what really stops us from getting started. Once you leave this space today, what are you going to do next? Are you going to take the board? Are you going to put it off to the side? Are you going to look at it for a couple days? Or are you really going to implement? And one of the things that I've found that has stopped a lot of people is fear. So there's that fear of, I need to do this before I do this. Or I need to, a lot of people, I need to make more money before I can improve my credit. Or I need to save before I can start my business. You know, a lot of people will create these barriers because really they're actually afraid of something deeper than what's on the surface. So instead of you saying to yourself, I'm really afraid to actually get myself out there, you're saying, anybody driving a Nissan? So a couple of things on fear and just a few things on overcoming those objectives. So the first thing is noticing or taking account of the fact that you may have a fear that you're not getting over. So a lot of times, the one thing that stops people from, let's say, starting a business or going to school is, what if I don't finish? What if I start it and it fails? What, you know, all these what ifs. But what if is in a space that you don't actually know where it is. Why don't you take the mindset of you'll figure it out when you get there? So one of the good things that I've done in my life is I've said to myself, okay, if I don't start this business, I'll start it next year and the next year. And 5 years actually went by for me personally. And I found that I was still helping people. So I was still operating my business without actually taking the step and saying that this is my business. So I'm, you know, putting myself out there that I can do this, I can do that, I have that tool. And everyone would always say to me in that 5-year period, when are you starting your business? When are you going to get an office? When are you putting up your website? And I say, it's coming. But really, it was me saying, what if I put it out there and people are not as receptive to it as me just doing it one-on-one? And you know, and that's a huge thing, is getting out of yourself, getting out of your comfort zone and saying, you know what, this is uncomfortable, but in order for me to grow, I have to do this. So one of the things I want you to walk away with today is, what are the things that are barriers for you? What are the things that are uncomfortable to you that you need to touch and get rid of so that you can get closer to your goals? Like actually step into it and step into your purpose. So if it's, let's say, for myself, it was, I don't want to market myself until I have photos. Well, that's a little odd, right? I'd say, well, I need photos because I want to look professional and I have this certain image and I want this and I want that, right? So instead of me putting that off any longer, I started to seek out photographers. And I know that a photography package is quite expensive, right? That's a huge thing. People need a professional headshot. I started to say to myself, what can I give this person? So I'm going to seek out someone who I can barter with or I can partner with. So it's eliminating the excuses of why you can't and figuring out a way to do it so that you can. So I eliminated that excuse. So I've had individuals come to me all the time. They do consultations and they say, well, I'm not sure if I want to go to school because it's expensive, and then the student loans, right? Student loans, unfortunately, they're going to be there. Sallie Mae isn't going anywhere. But what is going to stop you is the fact that if you don't get what you need to get out of that education, you're not going to get to the next step of your life. So are you going to let a larger institution stop you from figuring out your individual goals? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. So when you're looking into what it is that you want to do, when you put your boards together today, start thinking about what it is that I'm willing to be uncomfortable in order for me to get to the next step of my life. Because in order for you to actually get to the part where you're going to have a breakthrough and that you're going to step to the next level, is you have to be uncomfortable. It's not going to fit right. It's not going to fit tight. It's just like when you lose a couple pounds, you know, when you start to realize you need to lose a couple pounds, and it's like this, you know, your jacket's like this. You know, you say, you know what, I need to do what I need to do so I can loosen that up. But it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to sweat. You're going to have days where you don't want to go to the gym. You're going to have days where I'm a cheat day. Well, then your cheat days turn into 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and now you just lost it. So it's about picking yourself back up once you found that you're in that space and recognizing it. So one of the things that I've done is I create affirmations for myself. I take 5 minutes in the daytime and 5 minutes in the evening. I have a journal, and I write the things, number one, when I wake up, what I'm grateful for, what I want to accomplish today, just one small goal. If it's giving someone a word of wisdom, a word of accomplishment, if it's you know, reading a poem, or just reading a few quotes just to kind of reaffirm where you are, that's a way. And then just maybe even some of the things when you wake up from a dream, if you remember something, jotting it down. Because as you find that you start I'm messing my words up, but as you start to chronologize your life, you get what I mean, you start to realize that, wow, these days, I'm learning something new every day about myself, but you're keeping track of it. You're seeing where you are. So when you wake up, I'm grateful for this, I want to do this, and this is my goal for today. In the evening, you can reflect. 5 minutes is all you need. 5 minutes. You go back, you reflect, and say, did I do this? Can I do it tomorrow if I didn't do it today? And you just continue to keep the accountability up. So one thing I want to leave you with, and I don't want to just stand up here and preach, but one thing I want to leave you with is just even my personal story, why I waited 5 years to start my business. And a lot of it was the fear that I spoke about, but a lot of it was feeling like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to step into my purpose. I wasn't ready to actually take it in and say, okay, once I help these people, are they going to be successful? Can I really create value from what I'm doing? So as you're creating these goals, you know, and you have these barriers, and these are the ones that I personally had, am I able to help other people really live their dreams? And I'm going to say to you, yes. In the year 2016, other than the businesses that I was personally able to assist, I was able to also help other people in realizing what their dreams are. Some, it was, you know, deciding to write their first book. Other people, it was, you know, just putting together a blog. Some, it was actually having their first event. There were different things that they were able to do just for me deciding to make a step in my life. Now imagine if I decided that I was going to stay in that fearful place where it was comfortable for me and I could just help 1 or 2 people. Instead of on January 2016 saying, I'm putting my business out there for the world to see. People started contacting me, referrals. I maybe personally spent $30 this entire year on advertising, because word of mouth is what got me all of the clientele that I had. If I had chosen to just stay in that very comfortable small space and not really take initiative, imagine all the other lives that I would not have been able to reach. So by you accepting where you are and by you walking out of fear, you have the ability to walk in your purpose and touch other people so that they can move along in their life. So just want to leave you with that.